What's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and I'm going to be doing a Maliss deck profile. So I'm really excited to do some for you guys because this deck is one of the most powerful decks to play this format, to summon out all sorts of awesome link monsters and go in for game. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of Notification Squad, and definitely check the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. Like your name, description, every single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to your Patreon. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're playing 3 copies of White Rabbit. This card is definitely a 3 out in the deck and part of our 1 card combo. This card is amazing because all of your main deck Maliss monsters share a common effect that if they're banished, you can pay 3 inner life points to special summon them back to your side of the field, but for the rest of the turn you can't summon except for link monsters from the extra deck, which is totally fine because it's easy to be able to play around that because it's pretty much always summoned anyways. This card is awesome as well because if it's normal or special summon, you can actually set a Maliss trap directly from your deck to your side of the field with a different name from the cards in your graveyard, but since we're only playing 1 each of the traps, that's very easy to play around. We then play 3 copies of Dormouse. Dormouse is the best starter in the entire deck. This card has the ability that during your main phase, you can activate this effect to banish a Maliss monster from your deck, which is an awesome ability to instantly banish your copy of White Rabbit so you can special summon White Rabbit back to your side of the field using the common effect among all of your different Maliss monsters to bring themselves back to your side of the field by paying 3 inner life points. This card is awesome and basically a 1 card combo to make an amazing field. We then play a single copy of Chessy Cat. Chessy Cat's really good as a 1-of as well in the deck because this card is a great effect to help us draw cards, but you only need a single copy in this build, as I'm also playing some really spicy tech cards in this deck that make it so you really only need a single copy of this card. This card has the ability during the main phase, you can actually banish a Maliss card from your hand and then draw 2 cards, which is a pretty cool effect just to help you dig into the deck. We then play a single copy of Dotscaper. Dotscaper is great to combo with your copy of Red Ransom, but it's really just a good 1-of in the deck to be able to bring back to your side of the field, because this card has the ability, if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can special summon this card, and if this card is banished, you can also special summon this card, but you can only use 1 effect of this card and only once that turn, and you can only use each effect of Dotscaper once per duel. We then play a single copy of Code of Soul. Code of Soul is great as a 1-of in the build. It's basically used so we can link summon during our opponent's turn into a link 3 or higher monster, which is a great effect, and plus it's super easy to get this card in the graveyard. We then play a single copy of Magnamut. Magnamut works really well in this deck with your Maliss monsters because this card has the ability to banish a light or a dark monster from either player's graveyard to special summon this card to your side of the field, and it's a quick effect if your opponent controls a monster, meaning we can banish our Maliss monsters from the graveyard to get us basically a monster on the field, then activate the effect of our Maliss monsters, and then get an additional monster out on their side of the field. But this card also has a great ability that during the end phase, you also get to add a dragon monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand, except another copy of this card, which is a great effect to instantly search out one of our other bestial monsters. But this card is awesome in the deck. We then play a single copy of Druid's Worm just to help us spot remove cards off the field and also banish our Maliss monsters. We then play a single copy of Baldrake. Baldrake is also really good in the deck, just to have an additional name for our different bestials. So they're just really good in the deck. We then play 3 copies of Kashtira Unicorn. Unicorn is so good in this deck, just instantly deals with your opponent's X check and gives us basically 2 free monsters to help us link climb. As this card has the ability that if you control no monsters, you can special summon this card in your hand. During the main phase, you can add a Kashtira spell from your deck to your hand, which will instantly get you to a copy of Kashtira Birth from your deck to your hand, so that you can basically link this card away and then bring it back to your side of the field, which is awesome. Plus, this card can look at your opponent's X check and banish card from it face down if it does attack or your opponent activates a monster effect, which is great to instantly deal with the opponent's X check monster before it even touches the field. We then play a single copy of Fenrir. Fenrir is really good in the deck just as a 1-of. It helps out a lot in the deck, but I feel like 1 is really all you need for this deck. And it's really good because it can search out your copy of Unicorn. Unicorn is just really good as it gives us 2 monsters where Fenrir will search out another copy of itself, or we'll just search out a copy of our Unicorn, where I feel like Unicorn gives us 2 monsters instead of 1, so we can link away Unicorn once, and then we can grab or summon Unicorn to our side of the field. And then once you summon Unicorn, you'll get Birth, then link it away, activate Birth, bring bring it back to your side of the field, and it gives you basically 2 monsters on your side of the field for link materials, which is just really, really good, and I really like that about Unicorn over the copies of Fenrir. We then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom's really good in the deck as a 3-head to basically just stop your opponent from touching the deck. We then play 3 copies of Shifter. Shifter actually helps this deck because it makes it so you have your Maliss monsters banished instead of them going to the graveyard. So you can just instantly bring them back, but you can only summon each Maliss monster from banish once per turn off their own effect. But it's really good to be able to use your copies of Shifter because against a lot of decks, this card just instantly wins you games. We then play 2 copies of Ghost Mourner. Ghost Mourner is really good as a 2 on the deck. Basically just stop your opponent's monster effects, and it's a great card in this build. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of Terraforming. Terraforming is great because we actually have 2 different field spells we search in this deck offer a copy of Terraforming. We play a single copy of Gold Sarcophagus. Gold Sarcophagus is insane in this deck as a 1-of to basically just banish one of our Maliss monsters directly from our deck, like a copy of Dormouse, and then bring it back to your side of the field. We then play a single copy of Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave is awesome in the deck to basically just stop your opponent from hand trapping you while you're going in for all of your plays. We then play a single copy of Casture of Birth. Casture of Birth is searchable off your copy of Unicorn, and then you can just use this card to bring back the copy of Unicorn that you link away, which is really cool. Plus, this card can help you control your opponent's graveyard. As when you control a Casture, a monster, and your opponent activates a spell card or effect, and you control a Casture, a monster, you can target 3 cards in their graveyard and banish them face down, which is a really cool ability. We then play a single copy of Pressured Planet. Pressured Planet is really good because it is searchable off your copy of Terraforming, so we can instantly search this card directly from our deck to our hand, activate it, and search out a copy of Unicorn from our deck to our hand, then search out our copy of Birth after we summon out the Unicorn to our side of the field. We then play 2 copies of Talent. Talent is really good as a 2-of in the build. I don't feel like you need more than 2 copies of this card. It's great in the deck because it helps you either draw 2 cards, take control of an opponent's monster, or look at your opponent's hand and choose a card from it and shuffle it into the deck, which is a great effect to help us basically dig into the deck or basically out a hand trap before your opponent activates it. It's just really, really good overall. We then play 3 copies of Maliss and Underground. Maliss and Underground is so cool in this deck as a 3-of, as this card can be used as a combo piece or a 1-card combo for the deck, as it has the ability when this card is activated, you can actually banish a Maliss card from your hand, deck, or graveyard, which is such a cool ability, as you can use this card as a 1-card combo to banish your copy of Dormouse directly from your deck to basically get your combos rolling, or midway through your combo, you can use it to banish one of your link monsters so you can bring it back to your side of the field, which is really cool. Like your copy of White Binder, so you can banish a bunch of other cards from the graveyard and just bring them back to your side of the field. This card also has a really cool ability that while you have 3 or more of your Maliss trap cards with different names that are banished, Maliss link monsters that you control gain 3,000 attack points, making it super easy to OTK your opponent. And while you control a Maliss link monster, your opponent's monsters can only target Maliss link monsters for attacks, which is a really cool effect because a lot of our Maliss monsters are actually massive. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get in to the traps. So for the traps, we're going to start with a single copy of Maliss GWC 06. This card is really cool in the deck as a 1-of. And by the way, if you guys didn't know him, the 06 actually stands for the chapter in Alice in Wonderland that this card is actually based on, which is chapter 6, Grin with a Cat. This card is really cool because all of your Maliss trap cards actually have a common effect that you can activate them the same turn they're set by banishing a face-up Maliss monster that you control, which is an awesome effect to be able to use because they basically make it so that you can activate these cards as soon as they're set, and then you basically pay whatever life points that you need to bring back the Maliss monster that you banish. But this card is really cool because this card lets you special summon one of your Maliss monsters that's banished or in your graveyard, and then if you control a Maliss link monster, you gain life points equal to the monster's original attack that's special summoned to your side of the field, which is a great effect. And then a single copy of Maliss MTP 07, which is Mad Tea Party. This card is really cool as a 1-of and has the ability that basically lets you add a Maliss monster from your deck to your hand. Then if you control a Maliss link monster, you banish 1 card from the field, non-targeting, which is an amazing ability. We then play a single copy of Maliss TB11. TB11 is a card you usually want to set to your side of the field off your copy of White Rabbit right off the bat, as this card helps you with your combos. This card lets you activate this card when it's set by banishing one face-up Maliss monster you control, and then special summon a Maliss monster from your deck. Or if your opponent controls 3 or more cards, and you can actually special summon a Maliss Link monster from your extra deck instead, which is an amazing ability to instantly summon out one of your Maliss Link monsters like Heart's Cryptor, which is such a cool effect. We then play 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Infinite Impermanence is awesome, and the deck is a 3 to basically just stop your opponent's monster effects and also lock down entire columns of spells and traps. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to start off with a single copy of Heart's Cryptor. This card is really cool in the deck as a one of, and it's just so cool because it comes out absolutely massive. And has the ability that quick effect, you can actually target one of your banished Maliss cards, shuffle it in the deck, and if you do non-targeting, banish one card on the field, which is an amazing ability to instantly get rid of a card. Also, while this card points to a monster, this effect and its activation cannot be negated, which is a crazy powerful ability. Also, if this card is banished, you can pay 900 life points to special summon this card and double its attack points, which is such a cool ability just to instantly get this card back on your side of the field to make it 5,000 attack points, and it's super easy to bring back. We play a single copy of Red Ransom. This card is really good as a 1-of in the deck. One of the first Link monsters you're going to be summoning from your extra deck. And while this card points to a monster, the original attack and defense of all effect monsters that your opponent controls is switched, basically being a walking shield and sword, which is a really cool ability for this card to have. Also, if this card is special summoned, you can actually add a Maliss spell from your deck to your hand, which is always going to be Maliss and Underground, the field spell. And if this card is banished, you can actually pay 9 of your life points to special summon it, then banish a Cyverse monster from the deck, which is always going to be your copy of Dotscaper, so you can bring it back to your side of the field and keep Link climbing. We play a single copy of Whitebinder. Whitebinder is so cool in this deck to help you control the graveyard, but also kind of sort of use this card like a soul charge, which is really insane. If this card is special summon, you can target up to 3 cards in any graveyard and banish them, which is a crazy powerful effect because all of our Maliss monsters actually bring themselves back to our side of the field. Once we do banish them by paying a certain amount of life points. For the Link monsters, it's 900. For the main deck monsters, it's 300. So you can basically, during the opponent's turn, activate one of your cards that brings it back from the graveyard. And once you do, you just target your other Link monsters that are in the graveyard and banish them. And once you do that, you instantly get to bring back your Maliss monsters to your side of the field, which is such a cool effect by just paying life points. This card is absolutely broken. Also, during your main phase, you can actually set a Maliss trap from your deck or graveyard to your side of the field, and if this card is banished, you can pay 900 life points, special summon it, then draw a card. We make a single copy of Firewall Dragon Neo Tempest Terahertz. This card is so good as a boss monster. It's absolutely massive on your side of the field. You can send cards like Deceive Worm and Aggregator to the graveyard to be able to get a spell trap negate or a monster negate, which is really cool to be able to do, and it gets absolutely massive on your side of the field to help you OTK. And let's see a copy of Firewall Dragon. Firewall Dragon is great to help you recover cards out of your graveyard and also special summon monsters to your side of the field. And it's a really good card overall and a classic, awesome Cyverse monster. You can play a single copy of Access Code. Access Code is insane in this deck because it actually banishes our Link monsters from the graveyard, which is such a cool effect. Comes out absolutely massive and helps us OTK our opponent. You can play a single copy of SP Little Knight. SP Little Knight is crazy powerful in this deck as a 1-of because this card can easily be used as a part of your combos because you can actually summon this card out to your side of the field, banish one of your Maliss monsters, and then bring it back to your side of the field, which is really cool because this card has the ability of, if it's Link Summon, using a monster in the extra deck as a material, you can target one card on the field or in either player's graveyard and banish it, basically making this card like a Monster Reborn because you can banish one of your Maliss monsters from the graveyard and then bring it back by paying the life points, which is so cool about this card. But it's really good in this deck to help you play around cards like Nibiru, and it can also just deal with cards off the field. We'll make a single copy of Splash Mage, basically is a walking Monster Reborn. One copy of Lizardos. Lizardos is really good for Dormouse plays, and it comes out a lot in this deck because this card basically has an insane combo in the deck that you summon out your copy of Dormouse, banish your copy of White Rabbit. White Rabbit will pay 300, you'll bring it back to your side of the field, set your copy of TP11, and then once you do, you'll have the ability to banish your copy of Dormouse from the graveyard off the Haggard Lizardos, bring it back to your side of the field, and then climb into Red Ransom, which is so cool to be able to do. And it basically makes your copy of Lizardos a staple in the deck to basically use it as your combos because it comes up so much in this deck. We then might see a copy of IP. IP is great to help you basically link summon during your opponent's turn. One copy of Link Spider so we can play through Nibiru. One copy of Lingribo. Lingribo just plays around trap cards, which is really good. One copy of Link Decoder. It gives us basically an additional material because funny enough about this deck, your copy of Red Ransom and White Binder have 2300 attack points, and this card has the ability, if it's sent to the graveyard as a material for a Cyverse Link monster with 2300 attack or more, you can actually special summon this card but banish when it leaves the field, which is a great effect to basically link summon it and then bring this card back to your side of the field and then climb into something like a copy of Firewall Dragon or even a copy of Neo Tempest Terahertz. Speaking of Neo Tempest Terahertz, we also play a single copy of Deceive Worm as a spell trap negate to be able to send to the graveyard for the effect of Neo Tempest Terahertz, and a single copy of Aggregator. Aggregator is really good because it's basically a monster negate we can send to the graveyard off our copy of Neo Tempest Terahertz. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I've been absolutely love playing this deck, and it's so fun to be able to link climb into all sorts of different awesome boss monsters, and it's really fun to be able to play, and it's a really, really awesome deck. If you guys have not played Maliss yet, you should definitely give this deck a try because it's absolutely insane. It's really fun to be able to play, and it's just a really cool deck overall, and I absolutely love the artwork. So that's gonna do this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.